Hello YouTube. So, I know my last few videos have been guitar related. I figure, hey, I am due for a train related video. So, backstory on this. This is my old standard gauge layout. Originally it was 4x6. It is now closer to 8x8. It's not a full 8x8. That's not a full, piece of wood there. We'll explain all that real soon. So, I've documented this before. I've videoed it before, I guess you would say. And this is expanded over time. The last expansion went from a 4x6 to a 6x8. And I did that for this track up here, which used to be the outer track down here. So this is not standard gauge. This is 1 gauge, European pre-war 1 gauge. Everything else down below is standard gauge. So I was quite content with the 6-foot by 8-foot layout. It looked pretty good. It did its job, And then what happened was, a few years back, I bought a Boucher 2500, and that's it over there. Now, for anyone that's ever dealt with a Boucher, especially the 2500, it requires an 80-inch circle, diameter track. And obviously 80 inches is wider than 6 foot. So, there's also no such thing made today that's an 80-inch diameter circle of track, that is. You have to go with something bigger. So, you're not going to find original Boucher track. I mean, I'm sure you could, but I wouldn't even want to know how much that would cost. So, I went to USA Track. Kirk is great, makes great tracks. I mean, pretty much everything here is his tracks, except for the pre-war 1 gauge. This is actual German-made Marklin pre-war track because it works very well, and you cannot find 1 gauge. You can find G, I get that, but G is a 2-rail. This is a 3-rail, as you can see. So, the outer loop here is actually 87, and I believe the middle loop is 72, and then that's 31 in the back. Yeah, so I went a little bit bigger because, the Boucher looks better on a wider radius. And why not? If I can make it work, I can make it work. So, obviously, we're looking at basically circles here. The outer rail, what the Boucher is on, is got a small, I believe it has a half-size straight track. You'll see one over there. And then the inner, or the middle loop, and the middle loop, or the inner loop, I guess you would call, are both circles. The 1 gauge is actually the wider radius 1 gauge, whatever Marklin made. And then I have 1 straight track there, obviously, it's on both sides. So, anyway, that's that. The trains themselves, you got the Boucher in the back. I'm just running my 42 that I restored. I actually put that in a Mecca article a long time ago. That's a 200-201 trolley set, so it's a Lionel Classics. The 1 gauge is a Marklin. Again, I did a article on that for Mecca a while ago. I forget what model that is, but that's in there. It's like a I forget, 2 something. The station up there is actually a Bing station, and the glass canopy is Pride Lines, whoever made the reproduction. I was actually trying to find the Ive station, and I found a couple, but not exactly what I wanted for in the price range I wanted. And we're going to come up here. I'll show you what I did here. So this obviously is based on the Ive station, the 116. I got this off of eBay really cheap because I don't think the Bing stations have the same clout. I don't know how you put it, but they don't go for the same amount of money as the Ives 116. And this was missing the chimneys. These I made. This is just 2 pieces of wood. It's a piece of 5/8 wooden, block, wooden dowel, however you want to call it, and then a piece of 3/4 by 3/4 wooden dowel. Glued them together and painted them black. They're held on underneath with a screw, and I just took another scrap piece of wood. So yeah, I mean, they're a little out of proportion. If you look at an original Bing or an Ives 116, the chimneys are nowhere near that tall, but it works. I got my Barclay figures all around. Let's see, we got the Ives. What was that? It's MTH, but I think it's supposed to be an Ives water tank. The Lionel City, that's the original station. That's an original Lionel bridge. I won't even say the freight station's original. All the way in the back, we have an MTH reproduction of the Lionel switch tower. That's a Bing, I believe it's a Bing tower right there, I forget. And then that's a Lionel MTH flagpole. So I'm going to run the train a little bit. I won't really run the 42. The 42 makes a racket. It sounds like the house is caving in on you. It's something with the second motor. So this 42 has got 2 motors, actually. The front motor runs fine. It's the second motor. It's weak. It's almost like acting as an anchor. I have to really give it the full throttle for it to even move. So there's something I have to deal with it. I don't know what it is. I'd almost want to just pull out that second motor and just put in the dummy motor, but I'll see if I can fix it. So let's give it a shot here. And here's a Boucher running. I recently had the Boucher restored by Sergio from Facebook. It's a beautiful locomotive the way it runs. And the cars it's pulling it's a repainted Ives, whatever they were. I think it's the same as, or similar to my Ives line up there. Let's get, we have the trolley running. That trolley takes off real well. And we'll get this guy running. The Marklin is another, it's a very smooth running train. This is the one that I got from, and that's not the train itself. What happens is, I'm running the light for the station off of the track. And I'll show you what I did there. So every time it comes down to that point, it's going to slow down a little bit. But I got this. I got the Marklin from David and Josh Rosenberg over at at Allentown one time. Beautiful train. Never needed anything other than a little bit of oil. And we'll run the 42 really quickly. It's going to cause everything to shut down and go really slow. Yeah. That's full throttle. It's causing the Boucher to run slower. There's something going on, and you can hear it. Yeah. Oh no. And it came uncoupled there. So we have to fix that. We know. Anyway, I just want to give a quick update on was going on here. And now that's stopped. Well, we'll figure that out. That's probably nothing. It's probably, again, because I'm running the, hard to talk over the trains. I'm sure there's nothing wrong with the actual Marklin up there. I think what it's doing is, yeah, it's because the 4.2 is just taking so much juice off of the rest of the layout. I got to fix that train. Anyway, so I did want to just share this. I finally completed this layout. We'll bring it into the station and we'll let it sit down. Yeah, so this is my pre-war standard gauge / 1 gauge layout, and it's all done. And I know a lot of us that sit there and say, yeah, my layout's done. We know that's not true. There might be a new accessory or something we see and we got to grab it. And obviously, if there's ever another locomotive, you know, you got to get it. So this is the way it stands right now. I think as far as the footprint goes, it's not going to change. I don't have any more room to expand, and that's kind of what this is here for. I explained this in the last video I made about this layout. But this section here, right, this whole entire area right here is removable because these two, that hatch there, that one goes to the gas meter, that one goes to the outside water. They need, you know, access. So what I could do is this piece is completely separate. You'll see that, you know, the tracks, yeah, they're connected, but if I pull this away, I could actually disconnect the tracks, pull this out, slide this out. This is not bolted to anything. This is actually sitting on a cleat system. And if you look at my previous video on this layout, you'll see that. So, you know, that's all that is. So I could access that. And then, just again, quick overview of the layout itself, what it looks like. I know that, you know, I'm not going to be able to get to those trains too easily. I can, like I said, pull this out. I could get to that train if I want to. I also got two small boys. I mean, well, one's small, the other one's a teenager now. But, you know, they could help and they could climb on top of the layout. And this layout's fairly sturdy, you know. I could even get up there if I wanted to. Obviously, getting around this trestle, which this is not bolted to the layout at all. This is freestanding. There's only one bolt that connects us to that wall over there, and that is a screw that I could pull out whenever I want to. The idea was that this could be moved if I have to get back here or if this is in the way. The screw that I have in the back, and I'll show you the screw real quick, that serves as one purpose, and that's it right there, as a locating pin, we'll say. So I could always go back to the same spot. Again, because space is so tight, I don't need the Boucher hitting one of, you know, the uprights or something else like that happening. So that serves as a locator pin only. Yeah, so that's about it with that. And yes, I know it's purple in color. The reason why the upper level's purple, I had purple paint left over from our bathroom. And I wasn't going to go out and spend more money on paint when I already have gallons of it sitting in the shed. So I used what we had. So anyway, that is the standard gauge layout completed now. I'll get you a good shot of it. There you go. Thanks for watching.